Is Terence Crawford really a better boxer than Errol Spence Jr.? What's good, everybody? It's your boy, Cardinal Ridge Sports. Let's talk about it. Alright, y'all. So, the question was recently posed, who is the better boxer between Errol Spence Jr. and Terence Bud Crawford? And I just want to get my 2 cents on who I feel like is the better purist boxer.
Nah, I don't really pay too much attention to that type of stuff. I know after I win this fight, I'll be the best, fighter in the world.
Now, I think it depends on what you consider pure boxing. Some people consider pure boxing to be all you do is the fundamentals, is jab, work the ring, combination punching, those type of things. Then you got your people who like unorthodox styles of boxing, like Manny Pacquiao with his speed, combo, movement, style of fighting. You got power fighters like Errol Spence Jr. and Iron Mike Tyson. You got plenty of styles to choose from when it comes to the sport of boxing. Now, who is the better boxer out of these 2 guys? I think that's a hard question to answer. And once again, it goes back to what is your preference. Even when you talk to a boxing coach, every boxing coach has a different style. There is no one style that kind of fits every boxing coach. And, that's why when it comes to boxing, I feel like it's almost like Bruce Lee said. Styles really don't matter. You got to incorporate what works for you and discard the rest. Everything's not going to work for everybody. This style might work for this kind of fighter, and it might not work for that kind of fighter. And when it comes to coaches, they usually only teach one style.
I don't care. Football season starts next week. Up and down. Let's go. You want to make the team or not? Up and down. Get down. Come on, up and down.
They might have a slight different variation on it, whether they're dealing with a lightweight, a welterweight, or a heavyweight.
Look, you're going to be tied. There's going to be a few seconds left. 4th quarter. I need you to win the game. Are you ready to win the game?
I'm ready. Might have different ways of teaching the same thing when it comes to different weight classes. But most of the time, coaches, they stick with one style of fighting. So, when you think about what's a purist boxer, it basically goes back to how you feel about the sport. Me personally, I like all things when it comes to boxing. I like foot movement from certain fighters. I like, the combination punches from other fighters. I like the power punching from other fighters. And there's not too many fighters out there that can put all of that together. So, to answer the question, kind of quickly, there is no better purist boxer in this situation. Both of these guys are really great at what they do.
Not just the palm of a soft pad.
Errol Spence is a great breakdown fighter. He has a hell of a jab. He knows how to work a ring, cut off a ring. Terence Crawford's more of a speed style fighter. Throws a lot of combinations, has a lot of good technique, good foot movement, but he doesn't really have a lot of speed or power. So, if you're looking at a boxer, shouldn't a boxer have all these intangibles? Shouldn't he be well-rounded in the boxing ring? And if I was going to say one of these guys was better than the other at boxing, I would say neither one of them is better than the other. I say both of them do something very well. Let me give you an example. Guys like Muhammad Ali, those were all-around boxers. They could do everything in a boxing ring. Muhammad Ali could have foot movement. He could have quick combinations. He could throw power punches. He knew how to be a technician when he needed to. He was an all-around fighter. He was a great boxer. And I don't think either one of these guys compare to a guy like Muhammad Ali. Let me give you another example. Roy Jones Jr. amazing boxer. Could do all the things Ali could do in the boxing ring. And some people might argue a little bit more. You know, his angles, the way he used speed and combination punches was ridiculous. But he also had power, and he also was a technician. And I can go on and on and on. You know, there are plenty of names out there. You know, the one thing that stands out about Terence Crawford and Errol Spence Jr. is, and this is no knock to either one of those guys, they don't really belong on that list. You know, they're their own versions of great fighters within their time.
You know, I'm realistic. All the stuff that I've been through, you know, just the stuff that people know about, I've been through. You know, stuff happened, and you know, but I keep defying the odds. You know, everybody thought I was gonna be a shell of myself after I came back from the car crash, and you know, I came back and, you know, been doing my thing ever since.
Roy Jones Jr. had to be that good because the other good boxers of that time were just as good as him. He was just a notch above. So I think Errol Spence and Terence Crawford, they're a reflection of where boxing is at the moment. Boxing's not the brutal sport it was 10 years ago or 20 years ago, 30 years ago. So these guys have evolved into a new version of boxers. And just to be honest, I don't think they have to be well-rounded fighters anymore. They just got to be good fighters. They got to do one thing really well, or maybe two things really well. You know, Terence Crawford has his combos and his technique. Errol Spence has his power punching and his jab. You know, Manny Pacquiao, I think, was a very well-rounded fighter. You know, last generation fighter, very well-rounded fighter. Floyd Mayweather, great, very well-rounded fighter from the last generation. When you look at great, well-rounded fighters of this generation, I don't think they really exist, you know, to be honest with you. With the exception of maybe Gervonta Davis, but then people will argue about his resume that, yeah, he looks awesome in a boxing ring. Yeah, he can do all these great things in a boxing ring, but he does it against lower level competition. And I say nobody in this generation because even when you look at the so-called best guy of this generation, Canelo Alvarez, he lost to Floyd Mayweather, someone from the previous generation who a lot of people would say that his record was padded or his record was kind of fluff because he fought guys at certain times or he wrote stuff into contracts that made it hard for his opponent to win the fight. So, you know, when you look at it that way, even a guy like Canelo, you know, he still isn't the most well-rounded fighter because not only did he lose to someone from the last generation, he's lost to a few other guys in this generation as well who people would most likely say he overmatched. You know, he was actually better than those fighters, but they caught him at the right time, I guess. Or, you know, perhaps they were more well-rounded than he is. You know, they might not be on Ali status or, you know, Roy Jones status, you know, Prince Nassim status. All these great, well-rounded boxers of the last generation and beyond.
I keep defying the odds, so people keep saying, or they saying they keep talking negative, but they don't know, you know, that's really just added motivation.
Once again, I don't think these guys in this generation of boxing have to be that good because their competition level really isn't that good, you know, just to be honest. And I don't mean to be comical about that. It's just a reflection of the times. The sport has changed. You don't have to be that brutal anymore. And guys only do enough to be as good as their competition or a little bit better. You know, and that's just how I look at it. When you compare both of these guys, who's the better boxer, I don't think there is a better boxer. And I think people need to change the way they look at the sport and what they call pure boxing, because there really is no pure boxing. Well, you want us to go back to these days? You know, that back in the day, they used to say this was pure boxing when you did this. You know, those guys would get knocked straight the F out in this style of boxing and any other style of boxing because it's so much different from doing this, you know. So, you know, I don't think there is a purist style of boxing anymore. I think the best fighters are the ones who push themselves past their competition. Those are the great and better boxers because they push themselves to that level. Y'all let me know what y'all think about all that down in the comment section below.
Still gonna leave me that 50, right?
Hit that like button for me. Share. Subscribe. Holler at me on all social media platforms. Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, Twitter. But you're more than likely to get a response on the tubes or holler at me over there. If you want to collabo, feature a product or your channel on my channel, hit my Gmail. It is a flock of cards at gmail.com. And we are mine.
Hey, tell me what you see, tell me what you see. I'm an underground king, it's your boy Louis Keys. I done said it before, I'ma say it again. Top 5 dead or alive, top 10 out of the pen. Knock teeth out of your grin. Niggas like we battling him, then how do we win? You the type to let a damn chick straddle your chin. I'm the type to laugh at her if she asks me to spin. Man, but I still keep something with a mean onion. These young niggas mean mugging like they seen something. I walk up like OG, you need something? But he ain't talking about nothing, nigga, he's frontin'. He's nothing, so fuck a one-on-one, we jumpin'. Say something about a gun, you ain't dumpin', jerk. I'ma play it cool, but fuck all that shit. Something hit your hat quick, make you do a backflip. Play it, play it, play it, play it, play it, play it. See what you see. Tell me what you see. Look at me, look at me, look at me. This is the spot where the chicks get hot, all the product get knocked, player haters get mopped. So
keep me mugging over her, get there. Keep me mugging over her, get there.
Louis Keys probably a modern day Ali, make him rope a dope. It's your birthday, nah I mean. I'm clean, but I still show local love. So me and Mud get snug with a local slug. I was young, getting shitty, smoking local bud. Now I'm grown, getting shitty, and I'm growing up. Grown chicks in their 30s won't roll with us. Young chicks like Keys, is we old enough? Nah, sure they can wait a few years and then hit me back. We can see what crack. I'm a Mac on the track, trying to get them stacks. Here's a damn chick, look at that. What the hell you looking at? Play it, play it.